Hello everyone. Good afternoon to all. My name is Sanjay Rathod and today's my presentation's topic is satire and irony in the importance of being earnest. Here is my academic details and presentation details. Here is the table of content. My research question is how does Wilde use multiple ironic techniques simultaneously in the importance of being earnest to satirize Victorian society beneath the surface of comedy? And the hypothesis of this presentation is Wilde's use of five ironic devices like situational, reversal, comparison, truth, and literal mind, plus moral inversion creates such dense satire that audience laugh while being criticized. Explain both initial critical confusion and the play lasting observation subser- subversive power. The architecture of Wilde's satirical method. Wilde employs a pattern of ironic inversion, where character advocate actually social practice as moral standard. The play function as one sustained metaphor, requiring aesthetic detachment for intelligent enjoyment. So recognize epigraph as condemned out of its idea and emotions, rather than decorative wit. Contemporary critics miss the satire's depth, dismissing play as cynical to avoid confronting social realities. Characters derived their ideals for conduct from the actual practice of their societies, become literal-minded victims of their environment. Algernon's genuine outrage is woman flirting with husband is simply washing one's cleaning line in public. The technique has satirical ancestry in Swift's Gulliver and the Fielding's Jonathan Wild. In modern parallel, how satire exposes normalized corruption by treating it as explicit policy. In situational irony, Len's reply, I didn't think it polite to listen to Elgernon's piano playing demonstrate false propriety out of all proportion. Jack condemned false impression while living in Ernest in town and Jack in the country. Situational irony refers beyond itself to the larger dramatic context. In contemporary application, recognize how context exposes inconsistency between stated value and actions. In reversal irony, divorces are made in heaven. Reverse is proverb without requiring contextual knowledge. Reversal irony need only refer within itself through incongruity between moralistic tone and reverse among content. The effect called conventional morality into question by turning it upside down and reversing its implication. In modern relevance, how reversing platitude exposes their hollowness or reveals uncomfortable truth. Irony of comparison. Comparison irony works through undercutting, like comparison downward, or overstatement, like comparison upward. Gwendolen's highest ideals in Age of Ideals is to love some of the name of Earnest, and morality becomes a matter of upper class convention. Jack's name question labeled metaphysical speculation when it's actually crucial to plot. In modern application, recognize how trivializing serious matter or aggrandizing trivia exposes misplaced value. Speaking truth ironically. Truth irony represents reality distorted only enough to force our recognition of it. Lady Bracknell's pronouncement, engagement should surprise girl, hardly a matter that she could be allowed to arrange for herself. She readily admits this unpleasant truth as assertion. This is how it should be. It is true, but by any standard it shouldn't be, and that is the irony. The literal mind. Lady Bracknell demonstrates ignorant literal mindedness. Losing both parents seem like carelessness. Algernon exploits literalism, treats Jack's fictional mourning as facts, rendering him quite powerless. Cecily's mastery accuses Algernon of hypocrisy for not being actual victim despite its reputation. Only in society of surface can hypocrisy succeed by manipulating surface. Bunburyism, the irony of escaping hypocrisy through hypocrisy. Bunburying represents systematic escape from repressive convention through respectable fictional obligation. The central irony is pretend is the price the Bunburyist pay for freedom from the pretense of convention. Title pun capture moral failure. Conformists pretend to be earnest but aren't, and protagonists pretend to be earnest but aren't. Wilde argues all normal Victorians are performs Bunburyist leading double lives. In contemporary parallel, how restrictive norms inevitably generate organized deception as severe mechanism. Gender inversion. The inverted relationship is the norm of the play, with women hard head, cold blooded, efficient, and men who simply crumple. Gwendolyn's paradox. The home seems to me to be the proper sphere for the man. Lord Brackle's non appearance is symbolic since he practically a non person. The satire exposes Victorian gender ideology and performative fiction contradiction by actual power dynamics. 400 ironies. Pogue identifies approximately 400 irony inversion in the language of the play. Multiple irony operates simultaneously on single lines, truth plus situation targeting Victorian morality. This density explains why critics initially refused to give the play full credit as comedy. Why Wilde's satirical technique remained revolutionary. Wilde achieved oblique perspective on society's shallowness through direct ridicule of the shallow art in which it sees its reflection. The subtle margin of matter and form make Earnest an intellectual tour de force and comic masterpiece. Recent critics recognize the play not as Victorian relic but as distributingly modern work. Its satirical arsenal inversion, multiple ironic layer, structural parody creates comedy that never deads. In contemporary lesson, the most effective satire operates beneath conscious awareness, making audience laugh while being criticized. Here are my references, and thank you all. Now stage is free for questioning.
So, Sanjay, my question is that does Wilde's polished epigrammatic style risk undermining its own critique by beautifying the triviality in targets?
No, the style is the critic. Wild weaponized the aristocracy's own superficial polish form. The epigram to expose its vacuity, the aesthetic beauty of the language, isn't a diagram from the message. It is the very medium through which the message is delivered.
My question is that is bun merely a thematic device or it the engine of the play's farcical plot?
It is the engine. Bourbonering is the foundational lie that necessitates all subsequent deception, creating the place a semantical and artificial plot. The plot isn't just about fiction, it is mechanism or structural manifest of the fiction. Thank you. This is all from my side.